All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to assume that a lot of our people that are joining us from West Africa. So good afternoon is very very okay. But if you are joining us from a place that is not West Africa and your time zone is a bit different from UTC plus one, which is the time we use in West Africa is UTC plus one. If your time zone is different from that, I want to say thank you for joining and good morning, good evening, whatever the time is from wherever it is that you are joining us from. My name is Damilare, and I will be your host on today's webinar. On today's webinar, I'll be your host. Um, Without wasting our time, because I know that a lot of us have a lot of things that we still have to do. So without wasting our time at all, I will go straight into the presentation so that let me see, yeah, so that we can have go straight into the presentation so that we can have a smooth sail. We are going to be covering few practicals today. I'll be sharing I'm already sharing my screen, but I'll be sharing the screen that contains code, and I will show us how easy it is to learn tech these days. Honestly speaking, 15, 20 years ago, I was learning computer science then. I was learning computer then. I was learning how to run computer then, but today I cannot imagine what those guys that were teaching us, what they were going through at that time without all the tools that we have today, how they were able to know how they were working. It was definitely not as productive as we had today, because today it has become so super easy. Once you have access to the right tools and you have access to the right training, it is super easy to learn tech these days. Anyway, let's start. Um, the name of our organization is CompuSoft Solutions Hub. By now, you must have you must have heard that one at least. You must have heard that at least once. CompuSoft Solutions Hub is the name, and here we teach tech. We teach tech skills so that people will be able to land remote jobs. The beauty of remote job is that you don't have to do one. You can do two, you can do three jobs for three different organizations or three different companies as time will permit you or as your strength can carry. And so that is what we do at CompuSoft Solutions Hub. We have a website, and our website is what is showing up on the screen. CompuSoft-solutions-hub.vazel.app. If you go there, you will see details of the trainings that we do. Let's move on to the next part. Like I said, my name is Damilare, and I will be your host for today's webinar. What are my credentials? I'm a full stack software developer. And as a full stack software developer, that means I handle both the front end and the back end side of web application. I have proficiency in using Ruby and Python, small Python. I just finished learning some modules in Python, so I can now handle some small Python. But basically, I use Ruby on the back end, and I use JavaScript and React on the front end. Then, of course, once you are dealing with data with backend, you'll be handling databases. So I handle Ruby, JavaScript, React databases for web application. Okay, so my LinkedIn URL is also there. If you want to check me out on LinkedIn and see and learn some things about me, please be my guest. My LinkedIn URL is just my full name, Damilare Ismaila, and that will take you to my LinkedIn URL where you can see a lot of things about me, a lot of projects that I've worked on. So let's move on. What is the agenda for today's meeting? Agenda for today's meeting, we'll be looking at high income skills for remote job. High income skills for remote job. We'll be looking at AI tools for software developers. We'll be looking at HTML/CSS foundations. We look at front-end development overview. We look at back-end development overview. Then we look at the special training offer that we have at CompuSoft Solutions Hub. Okay, that's their agenda. Once we cover all this, we are releasing you. Don't worry, we won't be wasting time at all today. So let's go. Let me see. Sorry, please give me 1 second. Let me quickly check something. All right. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So why do you need to learn a high income skills these days? I know a lot of people have things that they are doing already. A lot of people are doctors, they are lawyers, they are people are architects, people are working in business, who are doing businesses, selling things. But why do you now need to learn a high income skill like tech? Why do you need to come into tech and learn maybe front end development or back end development? Why? The reason is because it's it is a job that gives you the opportunity to work remotely. And the way the world is going right now, remote jobs are in high demand. Remote jobs are in high demand everywhere. You will see remote job, remote job. In fact, in developing countries, remote job is the order of the day. Remote job is order of the day, and the kind of job that you can do remotely, one of the best job that you can do remotely is this tech job that we're talking about. It's a kind of job that people that give you job, they don't need to see you before you do the job for them, and then you deliver it, and then you give it to them, and then they pay you your money. So it is in high demand. Then skills like coding or web development can lead to multiple job offers. As you will see, I'm going to be showing you some things when I begin to do the practicals now. You will see that you can actually have multiple job offers. You can have multiple job offers. You can work with many people, although the money may not be plenty, which is why you'll be working with more than one person actually. But by the time you put the cumulative together, and by the time your experience rises to maybe from entry level to junior and then to medium, they will not be offering you small money again. So at that time, you may not even need to do more than one, but even that one will swallow a lot of people's income. It will swallow it up. Then another reason why you need to learn a high income skill is that before now, businesses that were not on the internet, they are now on the internet. There is the need for them to be on the internet right now. A lot of businesses that were not on the internet before, a lot of schools that were not running on the internet before, now they are running on the internet. And if they will run on the internet, they need somebody to build the interface for them. We call it UI in web development. That is user interface. That interface that you interact with, where you log in, you put in your username and password, then you click on enter to log in. Then as you log in, you see your dashboard, you see your picture. If you log into Jumia, for example, to go and buy an item, that screen you are seeing is the user interface, and they will need somebody to build it for them. You can imagine how many websites are being built every day, every single day, because more businesses need to come. Even those that are there before, they need to expand their reach. So the need for developers is increasing by the day. Another reason why you need to learn a high income skill like web development is the flexibility and high pay opportunities. It is very, very flexible. A lot of times you will see that on our WhatsApp group, I drop message in at night. That's because I slept around 7, 8 or 9 or so. So I wake up around that 2 or 3, and once I wake up, I start my work for the day. By the time it's getting to like 7, when people are getting out to go and work, I might be feeling sleepy. So I go to bed to sleep. Sometimes I do have meetings in my work. I do have meetings in the morning. So I just wait for me to finish the meeting between 8 and 8:30. Then I go, we call it stand-up meeting. Then I go back to bed to sleep. When I wake up again at 11, I continue my work again. It is very, very flexible, and there is high pay opportunities for it. As long as you're hardworking, you can rest when you need to rest. You can take value. You can go out when you need to go out to go for your social function, for example, and then it will not tell on the income you are earning at all. Another reason is for you to be able to gain financial independence. You gain financial independence in the sense that the kind of rate that you get, the kind of potential income that you stand to gain when you are on this career path, there are little job opportunities in the whole world that can match up with it. As long as you keep at it and you keep on doing it, you keep on improving yourself, you keep on learning new skills that are coming out, the sky is not your limit. God is. Okay, those are the reasons why you need to learn a high income skill. Let's move on to the next one. Now, like I said, one of the tools that we have this day, today, that has made learning anything tech to become very, very easy is artificial intelligence, AI. And I'll be showing you a practical today. I know for some of us that have attended some of our practicals, some of our training webinars in the past, I've shown them how to use how to use AI in some way. But today we'll be seeing another dimension. AI can actually take you through a lot. It can save you a lot of time. Like a work that you're supposed to use, let's say 1 hour for, and then you end up using like maybe 10 minutes and to get it done, and then you understand everything that is happening within that 10 minutes. The code is ready. But without you learning the skill, you cannot use AI, which is why people that are afraid that AI will replace humans are not entirely correct. AI cannot replace human, because AI depends on prompts, which is the input that you are putting in. It depends on the prompt that you are putting in for it to function. So if there is no prompt that you are putting in, that humans are putting in, it cannot function. So the human that will now put in the prompt must know what he wants to say. You must be using the correct terminologies at each point in time so that the AI will know what you want to say. That is why training is needed before you can now begin to rely on AI. But I can tell you that AI has made it a lot easier, has lifted like 90% of the burden for you. You will see it very soon. What are the things? How can AI help you in your learning journey? Number one, there are things that we do repetitively in web development. You don't need to do them repetitively again. There is a way to use AI to automate them, because we already know that this is how we do this one. Once this one is ready, we push it to this place. There is no other way about it. We don't need to think about it. So those things that do not need thought, they do not need a thought process before we execute them, we use AI to do them. The second way where AI can help you is we use it for code completion. By the time I begin to type a code, it tries to guess, what am I trying to do? Now, if you have not gone through training, you cannot continue to accept everything that AI is suggesting to you. A lot of them will be wrong eventually. But if you have gone through training, you will know when AI is giving good suggestion, and you know when it's giving bad suggestion, which you will ignore. And then as you begin to type, it becomes more clearer to AI what you want to do. Then it begins to give you better suggestions and better suggestions. So we can use it for code completion. So all the code, you don't actually have to write all the code from your head. No, you don't have to write it offhand. No, as you begin to, once you know the beginning, it will most likely figure out itself by itself. Step 3 is that AI can also help you for faster debugging. What do we call debugging? In software development, there will always be error in your code that you have written. You know, we write codes and even in grammar, even in English language, when you write, there will be errors at some point. You're supposed to put comma here, but you put a semicolon. You're supposed to put full stop, but you put an apostrophe. Then as you are rereading it, as you are proofreading it, you now discover those errors and now fix them. So in software development, we call those kind of error, those grammatical error in English, we call them bugs here. So a way to remove your bug in code is what we call debugging. So AI can help you to remove bugs faster. A code, you have written the code, you are sure it should work, but it's not working. Quickly ask AI about it, and then it will quickly point you in the right direction. A lot of on few occasions, not a lot of times, on few occasions, it may not see the error. It may not. So the onus will now lie on you to, the onus will now will now be passed to you to be the one to now figure it out. But if you have gone through training, at that point when AI cannot see it, that means it is something that you can easily see and you can easily figure it out yourself. It will not be difficult at all. Then the last place where AI can also help you is what we call code optimization. This is how we build code. When you are building a code, the first code you write is not the best. Even though it is working, you are able to see what it's doing on the screen. It's doing what you want it to do, but it's not the best way that you can that the code can be presented. So you can, after the code is working already, you can use AI to now refactor it and make it better, so that the next time you want to make any changes there, it will be easier for you. It will be much more easier than if you did not if you did not optimize it. Those are the ways that AI can help. Now, let's go to the programs that we have at CompuSoft Solutions Hub. We have 3 programs. We have HTML, CSS Foundations. We call it Web Development Foundations. We also have front-end development and back-end development. I'll be taking them one by one. The first one I'm taking is HTML and CSS Foundations. In this in this program, we are essentially mastering the basics of web development. Uh, the person that go through this training will be able to build simple web applications using using traditional tools. Okay, you will be able to build web applications the old way we have been building it. But the advantage of that one is that by the time the person wants to start front-end development, the person would have gained a very, very strong foundation. That's why we call it foundation. It builds your foundation. You will learn how do we add item to the page, how do we bring text to the page, how do we bring images to the page, what of videos, how do I bring videos onto my page, where can I get images to use, because it's not all images you can use in your web application. Let me tell you what will happen if you use images that you're not supposed to use. One day one day somebody may sue you and they will win in court because the image you are using is not you did not have the permission to use it. So in foundations, you will learn how do you get images, videos, how do you get videos to use. If you get videos, how do you bring them into your web page? How do you create forms? I know you have seen form before. A lot of you filled a form before joining our WhatsApp group. That kind of a form, how do you put it on a website? How do you submit it? You learn all those ones in foundation using HTML. So HTML talks about how to we use HTML to position item on the screen. So we say we want a screen, we want a button here, we use HTML to put the button there. We want a link here, we use HTML to put the link there. Then in foundation, we also talk about CSS. CSS means cascaded style sheet, and that is what we use to make our work beautiful. We use it to apply color, different color. If you are looking at the screen right now, you see that different colors are showing up on the screen. In fact, we even have this place where we have HTML and CSS here, having like 3 different colors coming together to form this single CSS. So you can see pink here, you can see this light blue here, and you can see something at the middle like that look like a shade of purple. This is what CSS can help you achieve in your web application. Also with CSS, you can bring in background images, you can arrange your items, you can position them however you want it to be. Then we have AI. If you go through our foundations class, we also show you how you can use AI to help your journey, to help your learning journey, so that you will not be stranded for long at any point in time. You see, when you're using AI, I know you all know this man called Albert Einstein. Now, when you are using AI is just like you having someone like Albert Einstein in your room, or just in the next room close to you. So you can imagine someone like that. So that means if you are working on a project like electrolysis or physics or electricity, and then you are stuck, you can easily just walk up to the next room and say, hey Albert, please, I need help with this. Do you know what happens? And then you can imagine that you always have answer to your question. That is what we cover under HTML CSS foundations. We lay a solid foundation so that by the time you want to go into front-end development, you will have no issues. Now, foundations will run for just 6 weeks. 6 weeks, 3 times per week. But front-end development here runs for 3 months, 3 times per week also. Front-end development runs for 3 months. And the moment you have studied your foundations very well with us and you've gotten your certificate, you have no problem. You won't need to extend your learning time in front-end development at all. In front-end development, we begin to now make it simpler for you. Everything you have learned in foundations is the same thing that we are going to be doing. But now we are going to be making it easier because we are going to be using some frameworks and libraries. So now you will now be developing web application like a professional in front-end development. By the time you finish a front-end development course with us, you are ready to call yourself a front-end developer, and you can even begin to apply for job immediately. We'll be learning React on the front end. We'll be learning React. React makes building web applications very, very easy. We will teach you how you don't need to repeat things, and how the code that you have written before can be used again, so that you will see that it is very, very easy once you learn your foundations very well. It is everything that we did in foundation that we'll be doing here again, just that it is now easier much more easier because of the tools that we'll be using. We will introduce you to different libraries that we'll be using. When we say library in web development or in software development, library is not the same library that you know where they keep books. No, library is not the same where they keep books. Libraries refer to simple softwares that have already been written to perform a particular function. For example, if you need a calendar in your web application, you don't need to start coding calendar from the scratch by yourself. There is already a calendar library that you can just pick and put it in, you just plug it in inside your application, and then you have a calendar already. So we'll teach you how to use all these libraries in front-end development. There's also API. Now let me explain this one. You know, when I was introducing myself, I said I'm a full stack software developer. That means I can handle both the front-end part and the back-end part. What does front-end mean? Front-end has to do with everything a user of a web application, of a website is seeing. Let's take Jumia website for example. If you go to Jumia website, you log in and then you are seeing a lot of items that they are selling. You are seeing shoes, you are seeing bags, you are seeing jewelries, and then you can even search for whatever it is that you want, and then it will display it for you. That place where it's displaying it for you is your front end. That is what you are seeing. But let me tell you that those shoes, they are not on your front end. They are not on your machine. Those shoes are being collected from a place called backend. So when you put a search item there that I want ballerina shoe on Jumia and you press enter, that front end application will send it to the backend that, hey, we have a user that's already logged in and this person wants ballerina shoe. Can you help me search it in the database? So backend will take that request that, okay, we need a ballerina shoe, and it will take it to the DB. I call database DB now. Take it to the DB and then search in the DB. Do we have ballerina shoe? How many do we have? What are the colors? Collect all those information, bring it back to the front end, and then you will now be able to see it. All these things usually happen within 1 to 2 or to 3 seconds. So if there is good network, so you will not even know that something like that has happened. It will be super fast because it is being handled by computer. Between the time that you press in the search item and the time that you're actually seeing the item, sometimes within 1 second or 2 seconds, you are even seeing it. But your request has left your system and has gone to the server, wherever the server is. Sometimes the server can be in a faraway place like Europe or US or Canada. The request has left your system and has gone to that server and has retrieved the item and brought it back to you so that you can see them on the screen. Now, the connection between the front end and the back end is like the pipe connecting them together. The pipe connecting them through which that information will flow is what we call API. The full meaning of API is Application Programming Interface. You might want to write that one down so that next time when they are asking you, at least you'll be able to say, at least I know the meaning of API. Application Programming Interface. That's the meaning of API. So API is simply a connection rod that connects front end to the back end, so that when we need something that is not already on the screen, we need it, then we can always use this API to go to the back end and fetch it and bring it back to us. So we are going to be learning all this one in our front end development. And by the time a student finishes our front end development, it becomes a front end developer. It can use API, it can use libraries, and it can use React to build functional websites. Let's go to back-end development. Back-end development overview. You see, this is where we empower web applications. We empower them because we are able to make a lot of things available to the user, even though they are not currently being displayed right now. The languages that we use on the backend, we can use Node to write the backend. We do use Ruby and Rails to write the backend. So a student will need to choose either of the two to be able to write, to do his or her training from. But essentially, I normally advise people that are still new to development, to start from front-end development. And by the time you finish learning front-end development, you will now be able to know or decide which of these two are you going to be using Node, or you are going to be using Ruby to learn your back-end development. But essentially, you need to learn one of the two for the start. The reason why we are focusing on these two is because they are very, very easy to learn. We have a lot of other languages that are out there that are actually hard, but these two are very, very easy to learn. Database is constant. Once you are working on backend development, you must know how to work on database, how to store data like user data, login information, credit card information. How do you store it securely so that there will not be problem in the future? You learn it in databases, and then so database is constant, but either Node or Express or Ruby or Rails will be decided between the student and the tutor to know which one the student will want to focus on. Now, let me just recap up everything again. Imagine yourself going into a restaurant. You enter the restaurant and then you are seated already. So the waiter will approach you with the menu list, right? And then you browse through the menu list and then you say, I want number 5, I want number 7, and I want number 8. As you pick those items, you give it back to the waiter, and then the waiter goes back inside to go and bring your order. Now, you will agree with me that that food that they are serving you on the counter, on the table, is not made inside that place. There is a place at the back where the food was being prepared, is where the food was prepared. So that place where it was prepared is called the back end. So the front end is where you are, and you are seeing the food being displayed inside different food containers, and then you can say, okay, I want this, I want that. That is your front end. The back end is where it was being mixed together in different proportion depending on different recipes. I hope my analogy on front end and back end is a bit clear. Okay, let me quickly check something. Okay, all right. Now let's go to is this thing moving? This thing is not moving though. Okay, let me see. Let me change. Sorry, excuse me, give me 1 second. Let me quickly change this one back. Let me change this one back. Okay, I'm already on. I've already talked about page. I've already talked about HTML, CSS. Then I've talked about front end. I've talked about back end. So now I'll be taking you to the practical section where we will be able to see the practicals, and then we'll be able to see how it is happening. That's where we are going to now. That's where we are going to now. I want to take you to practical, and to do the practical, I'll be sorry that the thing was not showing before. The slide was not showing. I've actually moved. I've moved the slides, but don't worry, you begin to see it now. But I'll be switching my screen right now so that you can be able to see the practical on my screen. I'll be showing you the code, and then I'll clear it off and then start all over again. So let's go. Give me a second while I switch my screen. Okay, I've switched my screen. In a moment now, you should be seeing it. When you see it, you will see to the left, we have the browser, and then to the right, we have something like a dark screen. That is where we write our code. Okay, so let me begin to work here so that I can show you now. All right. Okay, now don't be too confused about everything you are seeing on the screen. There are two different things here. Number one, you have on the left, you have the browser, which is this place where you have this to-do list here, browser, and then this one. And then to the right, you have this black screen that is housing our code. Now, you see all this code that we have here, you'll be wondering, how will I be able to know how to write all this code from the beginning? For God's sake. But no, it's not as hard as that. For example, let me show you how to start. Let me take this one off. For example, let me take everything here off. I've taken it off like that. Okay, this one will not go. Okay. All right, I've taken it off like that. I mean, I've commented it out, so it's no longer functioning. It's not functioning. If I save it now, you see that it will go off from here because I've taken it out from the code. Now, let me refresh it so that you can see it. You can see that it has gone now. How do I start writing this code? I don't need to write all this one from my head. All this code, I don't need to write them from my head. All I have to do is just find a way to get exclamation mark on the screen. Can you see exclamation mark on the screen now? Exclamation mark. You already know exclamation mark now. In our English language, they taught us exclamation mark. So once you put your exclamation mark on the screen like this, inside this tool called VS Code, this one that we use to write our code, we call it VS Code. We have a lot of editor, but I use VS Code. So once you put your exclamation mark there and then you press tab, just press tab, it's going to create this one. It's going to create all these things for you automatically. It has created all this one for you now automatically. Let me do it again so that you can see. I will just bring exclamation mark and then press tab, and then it creates all this one for me automatically. Can you see? So in my title, whatever I put inside title is what we show in the browser title here, where it's showing index.html on top here. It's going to be showing the name I put here. So let me put demonstration there, and then I will save it. Once I save it, it will be reflected here immediately. You can see demonstration right here now. So that is the name. That's how they get, if you are browsing any website and you see a name on top of the tab like this is how they do it. They put the name inside the title. Now, the content of a web page can be text, can be image, and it can be video. It can be text, video, image, forms, and tables, and so on. But today I'll be focusing, for the purpose of this webinar, because I don't want to waste our time so much. Of course, we cannot cover everything today, but I just want to cover some little. I'll be focusing on text and video today. So for text, how do we get text on the screen? We use what we call the P tag. Just put your P like this and press tab. It will give you this, something like this. Then inside the P, you now write, this is the way to add text to a web. By the time you save it, you'll be seeing it on your web page just like that. That is a way to add text to your web, to your screen. Okay, another way to add text to your screen is to use what we call the H tag. So you can come here and say H1. We have H1 to H6. H are in sizes, where H1 means header 1. So H2 means header 2 up to header 6. The biggest of them all is header 1. And the smallest of them all is header 6. So I'll be using, let me use header 6. Header 6, which is supposed to be the smallest one. Okay. You can say this is one of the header tags. And then by the time you save it, you will see it right under your text like that. You can see now I've added this text and I've added this text to my screen. Now, what about that is text now? That text is out of the way. Now this is how we add text to our screen. After you add it, you can now begin to style it and say, I want the color to be this, I want the size to be this big, I want this to look like this using CSS. But this is how to add text to your web page. After you have added the text, let's say you now want to bring in you want to bring in a video to your web page. You have seen some websites whereby you have videos playing, whereby you have videos playing on the I'm not sure. My slides are not showing. Is my slide showing now? Please, can somebody please help me in the chat? Please help me put in the chat if the slides are, if my screen is showing. Is my screen showing what I'm saying right now? Is my screen showing what I'm saying right now? Okay. Okay. Yes, it's showing. It's showing right now. Okay, thank you. I can see now. Okay, good. All right, thank you so much. I think it's showing now. Yeah, I can hear. All right, now let's go. Where am I? I was talking about that if you need a video to come on the screen, how do you do it? So the common place where you want to get your video from, let's say you have a video, maybe you have a YouTube channel, like me now. I have a YouTube channel, and it's possible for me to bring one of my one of my videos. It's possible for me to bring one of my videos from my YouTube channel to bring it into my web application. How do I do it? I will get the link to that. I'll get the link to the video. I've already found a video here on YouTube. It's not my own video, another person's video. I've already found it and I've copied the link out here. So we'll be training you how you can get this link out. If you need more, you can reach out to me, but I don't want this webinar to go for too long before we finish. So instead of going to YouTube to go and get, I've already gotten the link and I've saved it here for you. So I've copied it now, and now I'm supposed to bring it right here. You can't just drop the link here and expect it that it will show on the screen. No, it will not show. Let me save it now. You see that it is just showing that link. Now, how can I make, assuming you don't know how to use it, you don't know how to display this video on your screen, but there is artificial intelligence. How can you use AI to remember? Because sometimes we too do forget the syntax for all these things. So we have to know how to get the syntax to get it to work. So let's say I already have this link now, but I don't know or maybe I've forgotten how to use it I've forgotten how to be able to present it in the code so that it shows the video in the web for me. So let me show you ChatGPT and how we can use it to actually get this thing done. So right now I'm showing you ChatGPT. This one is the free version. It's the free version. Anybody can have access to it. There's a way to set it to put some of your information, personal information inside it, so that it will be helping it to work, but it's beyond the scope of this webinar. If you do training, we have enough time to be able to expose all these things to you. Now, this is ChatGPT. I want to use it now to be able to tell me how can I use that link to be able to have the video on my web page. I'll just say I have a link to a YouTube video, but I need it to display in my web page. In my web page, I am using plain HTML. The video URL is given below. Then I paste the video URL there. I'll just press enter. Be watching the magic. I'll just press enter. It will process the question I have asked, process it, and attempt to give me my response. Let me see. Let me try and refresh this page. Then, okay, please let's wait for a while. I'm trying to get myself authenticated, verifying my authentication. That's because I've opened it for a while. I've opened it for several hours, so it's trying to recheck that I am me. Okay, so we are back. You should be seeing my screen right now. So I'm going to be pasting it inside and then pressing this one so that it processes it and give me my answer as soon as possible. So it has written it for me. Can you see now? Can you see now? To display your YouTube video on your web page using plain HTML, you can embed it using the iframe tag, and this is how you can do it. So of everything that it has put here, the part that I need is this part here, H1 and iframe. So I'm going to copy it from that H1 to the end of iframe. If iframe starts here, I'm going to be stopping it at the end of iframe here. There's something we call opening and closing in HTML. So iframe to the end of iframe. I'll just copy that, copy it like that. Then I'm going back to my VS Code now. So let me switch my screen back to that place, and then you will see it on the screen right now. I have pasted it in my code. I will just save it, and the moment I save it, you should be seeing on the screen. You should be seeing on the screen the magic we are talking about. Let me see, where is this one? Okay, yes. After I've saved it, you will wait for it now. It will load. Can you see now? Can you see now? This is the video, the URL that I copied. So you can see all this code. I don't have to be the one to remember how to write all this one. Once I have the URL, I supply it as input to ChatGPT, and then it gives me this snippet of code. Now, where training now comes in is that you will see that when I was typing those things, I used some language. I said plain HTML so that it can have an idea what to write for me, because it's possible to write something that will not work here if I don't put that plain HTML. It's possible. It's possible. It depends on how he's thinking at that particular point in time. But your job is that you need to learn a skill that will help you to know how you can help ChatGPT to think in the direction that you want it to think for you at all times. So assuming you want border around it now, training will help you to know that this frame border that is equal to 0 here, you can change it to a particular value, maybe 2, and then by the time you save it, you are going to be seeing a border around your frame that is showing up here. And then like that, you already have a small YouTube on your website. So these are the ways that we use artificial intelligence to help us to get things done without having to crack our brain or get stressed out. Now, let's say you want to find a button. You want to create a button, and you want the button to be you can go back to ChatGPT and say, please create a button for me. The thing is, the webinar is already getting too long, so I would have loved to go into that one again, show you how to create a button and put some interactive elements inside the button, but without you having to actually think about it. But you cannot conceive that thing if you don't have the skill. If you don't even know that something like that exists, you cannot be able to put those inputs inside ChatGPT. Okay, now let me pause the practical at this point, and then we continue the presentation so that we can finish up on time. So I'll be going back to my presentation. Okay, now okay, let me see. Let me be sure that this. I want to be sure of the screen you are seeing right now. Please give me a second while I quickly change that. While I quickly check that. Okay. Now we will be going from here now to see what. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shegun David. You said it is showing. Thank you so much. Now we'll be going to. I want us to see the training offer that we have and how we have made it easy for our students. I want us to, we will be seeing it in a moment now. Okay, this is the screen that we are seeing. Okay, no problem. Let's continue. All right. So now, the special offer that we are giving to our students is Web Development Foundations, that foundations class. It runs for 2 weeks, and the training will cover web development. We cover how we can optimize videos, how you can work with images, how you can work with text, how you can build forms and tables, and then we use CSS also to handle our styling. And then we also teach you how to be able to use AI to help you to get work done so that you will not have a lot of headache while learning. That package alone costs, we normally run it for 75,000 naira. That package alone. But you won't be paying 75,000 naira, so please calm down. Then we also go into, after the training that you have, we also go into how do you present yourself online. How do you present yourself so that you can begin to build your career in this field? Sometimes it will shock you to know that certificate is not even as important as the way you present yourself online in this field. In other fields, well, it may not be so. But for as a software developer, it is not even as important as the way you present yourself online. Then we also, the cost of that one alone that we tutor you, will take you through how you get that one done. The cost of that one is, the worth is 20,000 naira. Then we go to hands-on practical project that you can do, and you put them inside your portfolio, so that you can show it to people, to potential employer, that okay, I've worked on this one before, I've worked on this one before. They want to see what you have done before when they are discussing work with you. So these are the jobs that you can actually showcase to them and say, I've worked on this before, I've worked on this before. And we also give you a one-on-one access to the tutor for any difficult area that you encounter at any point in time. So if we have classes 3 times a week, you have access to the tutor every day of the week at any point in time. Just drop your question. Your question will be attended to either through video calls, or through chat, or through text, or through voice call. It will be attended to. The worth of that one is 30,000 naira. So by the time you add them together, it's already going over 100,000. But you will not be paying 100,000 for web development foundations. Don't forget, this is foundations. Foundations. This is just the foundations. It runs for 2 weeks for the training, and then by the time you are doing all the practicals to it, maximum 6 weeks, you are done with it. Maximum, for you to be able to know, to have all the practicals done. Now, even though now we have seen that the worth of what you are getting for the offer that we are giving you is over 100,000 already. Also, we also know that a lot of us may have a busy schedule, and with this busy schedule, we are already wondering, I don't think I will have time to do it. I may not be able to have time to do it. Of course, you will have time, because we've got you covered. Every class we are having is recorded, and then the link is shared in the group that we are going to create for our students. Our student will have a special group, and then the link will be there for you to check up at your own leisure, at your own time. So yeah, you will miss nothing. If you have to go somewhere, it's a group class. It's not individual class now. Assuming it's an individual class, of course we can always postpone the class, but it's a group class. So the best we can do is to get the video ready, so that the video will be available for anyone that even if you are in the class, you want to rewatch again, it will always be available. Okay, so that one is not a problem. What are the other things that can be an issue? That is where we now come to this place. How does it work? We give you this training pack. We give you the training pack with individual support. That means the moment you register for this training, we give you training pack. Training pack will include how do you get your own editor, how do you set up your Git, how do you set up your GitHub, the places where you have to create accounts, free accounts. You are not paying for them. Free account that will be helping you in this career as a software developer. We give you those pack. Within 1 week, you should be done with that one. What are the things that you need to install on your system to get it up and running? Okay, then after you get your training pack and we are done, we are sure that all our students are ready, then we start the training proper. The training proper is going to be running for 2 weeks, 3 times per week, and then you have access to the tutor to explain difficult areas even after the class has been concluded. Then there is free mentorship. There is free mentorship for 1 full month. That is what makes it that's what makes it 6 weeks altogether. So you have 2 weeks for the training, for the web development foundations training, and then you have a month mentorship. During this 1 month mentorship, you'll be building practical projects and some projects that you can put in your own portfolio, so that it can help you to secure a job if the opportunity comes your way. So that's how it works. Now, you will agree with me that this is a very, very intensive work, because I'll be having though the classes will be held in group, but each person will be having different challenges at every point in time. So there is a limit to the number of people I can take in a particular session, in a particular batch. I cannot take more than 5. So this opportunity is only open to only 5 people, for 1 batch, because I want to have personalized help for each student that is under my training. So let me see you in the chat. Let me hear you in the chat. What do you think this thing is worth? How much do you think? We have already seen that the worth is like up to 100,000. But how much do you think it should go for? If you are asked, how much do you think it should go for? I'm waiting to see your message in the chat. Let me see your message in the chat. How much do you think it should go for? So while I'm waiting for that, let's move on to the next one. I'll be waiting for your message, but whatever your message is, we have already decided at the organizational level what the discount we are going to be giving you. We are going to be giving you a discount that will make it to be easy for you to learn. At the same time, you will get value for your money. Or in fact, much more than value. There is this quote by Walt Disney that says, the way to get started is to quit talking and then begin doing. So you need to get started on this track instead of you postponing or instead of you to begin to think of problems or challenges. Gather up the energy and then put it inside and then get it to roll. If you don't start, no one will start it for you. So For the 5 slot that is available, we are giving you a discount of a one-time payment of 10,000 naira for this 2 weeks training, and all the packages that we have said we are going to be giving you, including the 1 month mentorship. We are going to be giving you everything for a one-time payment of 10,000 naira. And once you make the payment into this account that is being displayed on your screen right now, you make the payment, then you send a screenshot to my WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is also being displayed right now. It's my WhatsApp and it's my call number. So please make the payment and then send me a screenshot of your payment onto this WhatsApp screen, and then we can begin to walk you through how everything will work. Don't forget, I said we have only 5 slots left. Why should you plug in right about now? Remember, I already said the last time that businesses across industries are going online now. And if they are going online, they will need a website. They will need a web application. And people that will build it, this is how they started learning it. You must be a developer to be able to work on web applications. So global businesses are becoming global. They are becoming digital every day. So you need to plug in, because the opportunity is rising every single day. Then there is remote work revolution. The work is turning to remote work. Very soon you'll be surprised at how many people will be working from their house, not by and they won't be going out to go to work again. Then the innovation of blockchain, 5G, and immersive web experiences are making all these things even more juicy than it used to be. So you should plug in right now without wasting time. This is what I said when I said you can have more than one job. These are people reaching out to me on LinkedIn, trying to see if we can work together. See, this one happened on May 26th. On May 26th, the chat I have with this one. Another person reached out to me on June 14. Another person reached out on June 14, talking about whether they would like to discuss with me how we can work together. Another one is on August 16th. So you can see May, June, August. Another one happened in September 21. All of them are trying to discuss how we can work together. Although you may not like to work with all of them, but among all of them, you might be lucky to see 1 or 2 that you will like the values. Because by the time you begin to ask some questions, you begin to see a lot of other things that are embedded inside their offer, and then you may not want to go ahead with it. But ultimately, this out is coming. See, May, June, August, September, coming from LinkedIn. We will teach you how you can make your LinkedIn to be able to attract recruiters, so that you can begin to have this kind of conversation. Okay, like I said, we have a website, and our website is already on the screen: compussoft-solutions-up.vasel.app, and our OPay account is already displayed on the screen. The one-time fee you are paying for all the offer we are giving for this foundations class that will run for 2 weeks, and then there will be 1 month mentorship after that 2 weeks. You would have learned how to work with videos, how to work with images, how to work with text, how to create forms and tables, and then you will also now begin to build practical projects that you can actually showcase to people within this program. And it costs you just 10,000 naira, a token of 10,000. I know that this 10,000 naira is a token to people because they can even finish this money at a go in a restaurant. But we are just, in fact, the last one we did it for free. For free. We trained students for free. But we are just putting money this time so that people can get committed. We can get committed to the training. So only 5 slots are available, like I've said. And once I get up to 5, you have to wait for the next batch that will be coming next time. So my phone number is on the screen. You can get, if you need to call to get any information, you can call me. And then my email is also being displayed on the screen. So that will be the end of this presentation. Thank you so much for joining. If you have questions now, let me just take maybe 1 or 2 questions. If you have questions, I will wait for like 1 minute or 2 and see whoever asks questions, so that I can answer our question before we end the stream. I don't want this stream to go beyond 5 p.m., beyond 1 hour. So please, if you have any question, you can let me know in the chat. If you have any question at all, if you have any question, please let me know in the chat. Any question you can have. If you have question about maybe the mode of delivery, if you have question about the amount to be paid. If you have question about anything, any question you have, or you are not clear about something that I've said, please type it in the chat in the next 1 minute or two, so that I can address them. Then we can end the stream for today. For everyone that has joined from Lagos, Mr. Ayode Jaina, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. And I'm seeing Mr. Shego David too. Thank you so much for joining. For everyone that joined, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. Your presence means a lot. Thank you so much. I want to believe there is no question. That's why I'm not seeing any question on the screen. There's no question. Okay. If there is no question, this is a very convenient place to draw the curtain over to this webinar. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Until next time when we come your way again, I remain yours sincerely. Damilare is my name. Thank you and bye-bye. Bye-bye.